the University of Kansas, you're watching KUJH News.
Today on KUJH News, a message from the Chancellor in response to Trump's travel ban and what it means for international students. A men's basketball player charged with possession of drug paraphernalia after he was suspended from the program last week. How the team will look ahead to another Big 12 matchup. And Trump narrows his choices for Supreme Court justice. He is set to reveal his selection tomorrow night. Thank you for joining us tonight. I am Alex McClune. President Trump is set to reveal his pick for the Supreme Court vacancy tomorrow night. The president's selection will be the replacement to Antonin Scalia, who died last February.
A person who is unbelievably highly respected, and I think you will be very impressed with this person.
It's believed the search has been narrowed down to 3 judges. Neil Gorsuch of Colorado, tabbed as the most natural replacement of Scalia, and then Thomas Hardiman of Pennsylvania, known for protecting gun rights, and then William Pryor of Georgia, who has a history of deciding criminal and capital cases. Trump could still announce a selection other than these candidates tomorrow night. President Trump's executive immigration orders are leaving some of the KU community unsure of what's to come. KUJH reporter Travis Calvin reports on possible effects on university students.
Protection of the nation from foreign terrorist entry into the United States.
Those words by President Trump caused an outcry from all over the world on Saturday as his executive order ceased immigration by refugees from select countries for 90 days. The University of Kansas issued a statement in response to the new order, with Chancellor Gray-Little standing against the Trump order. Gray-Little wrote, "I want to reiterate that accessibility, diversity of thought, and free and open exchange of ideas remain core values of the University of Kansas. No matter your country of origin, the color of your skin, your religious beliefs, gender, sexual orientation, or political leaning, you belong at the University of Kansas." After contacting 7 different Arabic and Muslim groups at KU, none of them wanted to speak with me on camera. One female student in particular told me the reason she didn't want to be on camera was because she didn't want to be classified just because of her religion. The ban could significantly affect as many as 42 students at KU who are studying from abroad. In the fall academic semester, KU is home to students from 4 of the 7 countries listed.
We only want to admit those into our country who will support our country and love deeply our people.
While President Trump affirms that his executive order is best for the country's future, many Muslim students at KU remain feeling uneasy. Reporting for KUJH, I'm Travis Calvin.
At least partly in response to this weekend's events, the stock market took its biggest single-day drop of 2017. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped more than 122 points and finished under 20,000. In addition to stock market woes, travel uncertainty highlighted the weekend. One KU law professor is offering advice to those who could be affected.
What is surprising is the speed. What is unprecedented is the lack of agreement in various parts, even of the federal government. What is special, maybe, is the quick and immediate outcry.
ULE also urges students who are planning to leave the country to consider travel plans and being patient with all that is going around the globe. In November, KU announced the university's 27th Rhodes Scholar. The recipient is now challenging campus leaders in an effort to bring about equality.
Shagufta Huma came to KU as a student looking to make a difference. Now, through her voice and advocacy, she's helping to create a climate of equality.
I think on KU's campus there are a lot of people who are willing to engage in dialogue, at least, about the issues of inequity that exist on our campus. I just think that there needs to be a lot more concrete commitment by people who are in leadership positions in order to really galvanize the community as a whole.
In her time at KU, Huma has been involved with Student Senate, the Women of Color Collective, the Muslim Student Association, and many others. But it hasn't been an easy path.
A lot of times I deal with a lot of backlash. That has happened a lot very publicly when I was doing my internship in DC, actually, I spoke out on Twitter about Trump propaganda that was being chalked on our campus, and I got a ton of backlash. It was like the first time I received hundreds and hundreds of messages on Twitter from people wanting me to commit suicide or be murdered, raped, of course, like the go back to where I came from, all of that kind of rhetoric.
Through the backlash, Huma has received an immense amount of support, something she says makes all the difference in continuing. And come October of 2017, she will enter Oxford as a Rhodes Scholar in the hopes to someday translate her impact at KU to communities worldwide.
One nice thing from somebody that actually values the work that you're doing can be enough to remind you and reorient you as to why you're doing the things that you do.
Nicole Fye reporting for KUJH.
Huma is one of 32 students chosen for the nationwide scholarship. She will be studying for degrees in refugee and forced migration studies and public policy. Carlton Bragg was officially charged with possession of drug paraphernalia after Bill Self suspended him last week. Police found 2 glass smoking pipes while investigating a sexual assault case in McCarthy Hall on December 17th. Head coach Bill Self said earlier today that it is not an indication that the 2 cases are related.
As it was stated and also backed, it wasn't in connection with the alleged incident. But it's something certainly that was a violation of team rules.
Will appear in Lawrence Municipal Court on February 14th. Coming up on KUJH News, hear what Here Apartments has under its sleeve for Valentine's Day, and how a local business offering free acupunctures has been benefiting since Election Day. Stay tuned.
We connected so fast when we first met. I think that our relationship will last for a lifetime.
Being a role model for someone, being there for someone, there's nothing I can compare it to. She has uncles up in Minnesota that treat me like I'm their own now.
I feel like she's actually my big sister in a way.
It's been one of the best decisions I think I've ever made.
You're doing great. We're gonna try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, button the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep
pedaling. Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, you ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Changes are coming to a popular intersection on campus. KUJH reporter Katie Keller has more on the efforts the university and the city are giving to keep traffic under control.
KU students and faculty know campus is not the easiest place to get around during the day, but new devices on campus aim to make it a safer commute for everyone.
Traffic is flowing smoothly at the intersection of Naismith Drive and Crescent Road. Traffic calming devices are now in place at the usually congested intersection. The devices prevent cars from going west onto Crescent Road. Cars going north on Naismith Drive can now only turn right at the intersection. The calming devices are there to improve pedestrian and traffic safety. The Lawrence City engineer says that so far, the results have been mostly positive.
It is working the way we intended. Now we just need to kind of decide if that's what the neighborhood and the university and the community wants to proceed with.
The city has gotten both positive and negative feedback from citizens and students. If the traffic calming devices are successful, the city and KU will install them permanently this summer. They will also work on pavement and sanitary sewer improvements at the intersection. Reporting from Lawrence, Katie Keller, KUJH News.
The city and university will monitor the success and feedback of the traffic calming devices throughout the spring and will make their final decision by the end of the semester. A recent study finds that students of color in the Lawrence Public School District face uneven odds. Communications Director Julie Boyle for Lawrence Public Schools said in a discussion tonight is focusing on racial equity.
We have a facilitator tonight from the Kansas Leadership Center. His name's Pastor Adrian Robertson. So he will lead us through discussion questions and then have time for a small group discussion and sharing out from those groups, and also give people an opportunity, if they aren't comfortable speaking in a public meeting, to write feedback and submit that to the facilitator.
Lawrence High School will host the public forum about racial equity in Lawrence Public Schools tonight at 6 p.m. KU's Here Apartments are adding 2 new stores to the building, a fancy fruit establishment called Edible Arrangements and a Topeka-based coffee shop called PT's Coffee Roasting. Here Apartments have just confirmed the first 2 franchises for their building. Edible Arrangements will be located at 11th and Indiana, directly to the right of Here's front entrance. They will offer a variety of fruit arrangements dipped in gourmet chocolate, as well as smoothies and frozen yogurt. Topeka site manager Francis Katzer said that they are excited to come to Lawrence and be located near campus.
We will be opening probably not till March, but we will have a pop-up location for Valentine's Day. So please come and visit. We'll be there Monday and Tuesday of Valentine's Day. We'll bring a lot of arrangements.
PT's Coffee Roasting is coming to Lawrence as well. Both franchises should be open in March. More stores and restaurants to come within the next few months. In December, we covered a local acupuncturist offering free acupunctures to workers in distress over President Trump's election. With those free services now being discontinued after the inauguration, Austin Reed caught back up with Julie to see how the month did for her business.
Julie Baird-Walk was devastated when the news became official that Donald Trump had won the election over Hillary Clinton.
And I was very impacted by the election that morning. My husband woke up, my daughter got up, and I just laid in bed and cried.
Days later, she decided that the best way to help others feeling her pain was to offer free acupunctures to those that were stressed by the election results. Whether business would be affected or not was the last thing on Baird-Walk's mind.
I thought it was the way that I could sort of make the most impact in doing a positive influence.
At first, she wasn't sure how long she would keep them for free, but eventually the stop date became very clear to her.
Initially I thought till the end of the year, but it feels so good giving that service. So I would say at this point up until the inauguration.
KU professor Dr. George Bittlingmeyer was not shocked when told that Baird-Walk's business had actually prospered because of the free services. As a professor with backgrounds in economics and finance, he says it's actually quite common to succeed in the long run for businesses like Baird-Walk's.
If you need stress relief and acupuncture really isn't your thing, just open the door and take a walk outside. The weather's been pretty warm today, as Warren Sears is here with a weather update.
That is right. Well, as you saw today, temperatures were amazing. It was low 60s. We don't see that this time of year in January. This is a picture sent in by my friend Ashley, Jayhawk Boulevard. The beautiful campus today, some nice high cirrus clouds. It was awesome. But as you can see, that sun is starting to set as we head into tonight. The temperatures will drop off pretty significantly as we head into this evening, right around 35 degrees for a nighttime low, partly cloudy skies. So unfortunately, those 60s can't stick around forever. But let's see how tonight pans out. Right around 5 o'clock, we're going to see that sun start to set. 60 degrees is going to leave us. 2 hours later, around 7, you can really tell that those temperatures are going to drop into the mid-40s. And then as you head into tonight as well, you can see that the temperatures are going to drop into the upper to mid-30s. So unfortunately, you're going to need a jacket again this evening. But as we head into tomorrow, we are going to see nice temperatures again for this time of the year. January, I guess February, you can't really complain with 53 degrees, mostly sunny skies, and that wind will be pretty light tomorrow, around 5 to 10 miles per hour, so can't complain. And as we head into our 5-day forecast, unfortunately, temperatures each day are going to drop a little more and more. as we head into our weekend. We are expecting temperatures to drop into the mid-30s, and we are expecting a chance for some sort of precipitation on Saturday, mid-30s, around a 40% chance, so we'll be watching that the rest of the week. Back to you guys at the desk.
All right, thanks, Warren. As Sam Davis joins us here now with sports, we're under a week away from the big game, and just last night, sports fans had caught a bit of a game that could hold them over until the big game.
Yeah, 6 days to go until the big game. 2 weeks is quite a bit of time to wait to see more football, but last night fans got a little bit of taste of that action on the gridiron. And coming up next in sports, we'll tell you which Chiefs players and which former Kansas Jayhawks shined in last night's Pro Bowl. Plus, Bill Self and the Kansas men's basketball team picked up a big non-conference win over Kentucky in the Big 12 SEC Challenge. But another top 5 opponent looms just ahead. Stay with us.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. The doctor stopped by and said, well, it is leukemia. And then the next thing she said without even missing a beat was, and here's what we're going to do. We are so blessed and lucky to say that she is extremely healthy. I could not be more grateful for groups like the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. It was that research that let that doctor say, it's leukemia, and here's what we're going to do.
It's not always easy being a dad.
Do you have panda asthma too? Does that run in the family? This is the home of the most priceless kung fu artifacts.
But when you make an effort,
Dad, we're not supposed to touch anything. Oh, sorry. Go long, son.
it's always worth it.
Whoa, master!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
I am gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
The Big 12 is hard enough. 3 teams ranked in the top 10. The Kansas Jayhawks got a break to step outside of the conference for a road game at Kentucky as part of the Big 12 SEC Challenge. Some break. Maybe they should take more breaks. Early in the first half, Malik Monk shined for the Wildcats, pouring in 12 points in the first 20 minutes, helping Kentucky build a sizable lead. But the Kansas Jayhawks fired back and narrowed Kentucky's lead to just 5 points before the halftime, as Josh Jackson contributed 10 first-half points on his way to a double-double. Kansas carried the momentum into the break and throughout the rest of the game, where they ultimately prevailed 79-73. Now it's back to the Big 12 grind, returning home on Wednesday night to face number 2 Baylor with the Kansas forward Carlton Bragg still suspended. The Jayhawks front court matchups will remain a concern.
You know, when you're going against 7'6" or whatever up front, and you have the bench that they have inside. I mean, they're a physical, long team, and that's one reason why their zone is so good.
Tip-off against number 2 Baylor is slated for 8 p.m. on Wednesday night. 2 years is a long time to wait for anything, but that's how long the women's basketball program waited for its latest regular season conference victory. On Saturday, the wait was over. Kylie Kapatic contributed 14 points and 4 rebounds. But Jessica Washington was the star for the Jayhawks as she filled the stat sheet with 24 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Head coach Brandon Schneider was pleased with the win and the Big 12 victory, first of the season.
I thought our execution in terms of our defensive plan was really good for the most part all night. And then, really proud of Kaylin and Sydney Umari and Jade Christopher for stepping up and contributing some offense.
The women's basketball team will now travel to Norman, Oklahoma, where they will face the Sooners on Wednesday morning. It was a successful day for Kansas track and field as the teams hosted the Jayhawk Classic. The throwers shined in the meet as freshman Gleb Dudarev and junior Nikolai Seban each entered the top 5 of the NCAA standings with their best throws of the day. Up next, the Kansas Jayhawks will leave for Lincoln, where they will compete in a meet February 3rd and 4th. KU hockey played its first home series of the semester against Arkansas over the weekend. The Jayhawks were looking for a little revenge after losing to the Razorbacks back in the fall season. The team split the weekend series, with KU winning 8-7 on Friday and Arkansas taking Saturday's game 5-3. Saturday's loss snapped KU's 11-game winning streak with just 3 games remaining. The Jayhawks travel to South Dakota State on Friday and Saturday. Their last game of the season is later this month against Mizzou. With a week to wait before Super Bowl 51, local football fans could fill their time on Sunday by watching the annual Pro Bowl, while also catching a glimpse of some familiar faces. Travis Kelce scored a touchdown and earned Offensive MVP as he represented the AFC and the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs quarterback Alex Smith also scored a touchdown for the AFC as Chiefs coach Andy Reid called the plays and led the way on the sideline. Jayhawk football fans saw their team represented as former players Aqib Talib and Chris Harris Jr. saw playing time and made significant contributions in the AFC secondary. With the Pro Bowl game completed and out of the way, the only football left to be played will be the Super Bowl matchup between the New England Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons next Sunday.
And as we mentioned earlier, under a week away, and you always hear about how there's a party leading up to the Super Bowl in Houston, and for some teens in Ottawa, they had a party of their own as well. A group of teens in Ottawa were taking pictures in the bathroom of a casino when an older woman offered to take the photo. Because her offer was so sweet, they got to talking, and later the group of teens invited her to take more pictures with them. So as you see there, more pictures, bathroom selfie. Yeah, you can see it all on Instagram. Not sure what the profile is, but it's out there on social media now.
Yeah, it makes sense. You see someone taking pictures, you offer to help them out.
Yeah, so that's what we've come to this day and age. So grandma pictures on Instagram. Well, that'll wrap it up for this edition of KUJH News. Thank you for joining us. That's all the time we have. Tune in next time on Wednesday.